I want to piggyback off of the Telegram automation that I showed you in the previous lesson. Now, this is all gearing up towards creating your own smart home chatbot. Whether you use AI with it or not is completely up to you, but this does give you the building blocks for creating something that is pretty impressive. Now, I showed you how to do it with Assist. So you can use either a Home Assistant's Assist in order to talk to Node-RED. You can now use Telegram to talk to Node-RED as well as Assist. I want to show one other version, and that's using webhooks. Why webhooks are important, you probably have to just watch my channel. I talk about webhooks quite a lot because of its versatility. It is essentially, webhooks is like using network requests is the backbone of the internet, and sending information far away or close, like just be able to send information, like webhooks lets you tap into that. And because your smart home is able to listen to particular endpoints, you can now send, let's say, complex messages either from a browser or realistically, where did it go? Right here, your phone. You can use your phone to send messages. And because it's webhook based, like it's still technically a bit secure. I mean, like not the most secure thing in the world, but secure in the sense that if you just have, let's say, a particular endpoint that you want to run, you can use your phone and it would only operate, especially if you use like local network requests, like you would have to be in your home on your network in order for those requests to work. So you could create, let's say, really custom niche automations using shortcuts on your phone, or if you have an Android, was it Tasker, and be able to create custom hooks that happen on your phone that then triggers webhooks in Node-RED that will then affect Home Assistant. I know it seems like a really long chain of things, but this again are just the building blocks that lets you do really cool and awesome automations. And with the more tools that I give you, the more you're going to be able to solve. You're going to eventually run into a particular situation where you're going to ask yourself, well, I want to make this thing easier. What can I do? The more tools at your disposal, the easier it is to come up with a solution. With that being said, let's look at how we can use webhooks in tandem with Assist in order to run or trigger automations like turning off my office lights. Let's go. I'm going to create an automation that's going to use, let's say, my phone, and I'm going to speak to it, give it a command, and that command is going to be sent via webhook into Node-RED, which will then talk to Assist to turn this off. I have a video on this on the main channel, but I'm going to go through it in depth here so that way you can see how this works very intimately. So first things first, we're going to set up the endpoints here in Node-RED, and then we're going to move over to the phone. All right, let's start. So we kind of went through this already. So let's take the sentence node. Do we want the sentence node? No, we don't want the sentence node. We simply want to grab the actions node. And in the actions node, we're going to connect this to conversation process. And then we know that it's going to take all of these things. So to make this, let's just go over it again. So that way you guys can see it. So then text, we'll just have it look for now at message.payload. We may update this in a little bit. This also needs to be in a string, but we'll get to that. It also needs, I think that's it. I think those are the things, that's all it needs. This needs to be in quotes. Done. All right, this looks about correct. All right, ask assist. There's two ways that we can go about this. We've kind of talked about both of them. We can either use Home Assistant's webhooks, so that's this right here, or we can use Node-RED's version of this, which is the HTTP in and the HTTP requests, which is down here. Let's type for it because it's faster. HTTP. So we can use the HTTP in and the HTTP response. So in using these two, we can accomplish the same exact thing. Let's just, for the sake of consistency, use Home Assistant's webhook. All right, so we have the webhook. We're going to connect it to it. We may need to transform some items in here, but we'll get to that. We're going to double click into it. This is the ID. I'm just going to give it a simple ID. We're going to call it assist. Super simple. We want this to be a post. Do we want it to be a post? We can be a get or a post, but I'm just going to leave it at post for now. And then we can say ask assist endpoint. The payload is going to be the received data, which is perfectly fine. And then done. So to test this, testing stuff out like this post request usually is really sucky, but we have a workaround for this. All right, so we have this. Let's just make this go into a debugger. Before doing that, let's use a debugger here because I want to make sure everything is working before sending messages. So we're going to have it output the complete message object. Click done. We're going to disable that. We'll just cut this off for now. And then we will deploy. Next, we want to trigger this and make sure that it's working. So let's do this. We're going to open up terminal. All right, we have here terminal. I'm going to also open up GPT. Create a post curl post request with the body that has the property, let's call it speech, that is a string that says hello world. All right. Perfect. This is why I like GPT, and well, not just GPT, but like AI in general. It makes development so fast. Like I know these things in general, but I never remember the specifics of it. Then having to go on Stack Overflow and then look for these things, a chore. But just to type it out and then get this really fast, A+. So we're gonna copy this. So just copy. We're gonna go back to here. We're gonna open up the terminal again, and then we're going to paste this in. And then let's see. Oh, I didn't tell it. Silly me. I did not tell it the endpoint. So since this is local, we would say that this is, I believe, http colon 10 dot // there you go, 10.0.0.40, I believe is the IP address. No, that's the wrong IP address now that I'm thinking about it. We need the IP address of where Home Assistant is. So we can look for that. If you don't know where to find the IP address for your Home Assistant instance, let's go here, settings, and then I believe it's systems, network. And then you would be able to find it in here, like the IPv4, IPv6, you'd be able to see what that is. So yeah, so just click on here and then click the IP information, and it'll give you the information for your IP address. You're going to look for the one that looks pretty simple. It's going to probably say like IPv4. In my case, mine's is going to be, I think, 10.0.0.165. We can ignore this /24 part. So armed with that information, we're typing in 165, and then I believe the port is 8123. I think that's the regular port for Home Assistant. And then I believe, I always get this part wrong, but I believe it is / API / webhook. I think it's plural. And then assist. I don't know if it's webhook or webhooks. We're gonna try both ways. So we'll try webhooks, plural. Not found. Let's try again. There you go. It was singular, webhook. So it outputted this information here. And we can see payload, speech, hello world. So let's mirror this now within our phones. So let's head over there. Okay, so here in my phone, I have assist. And we're going to edit this one. So let's click into it. And we want to first grab the dictate text. So dictate. And if we check this, the I, we can see that it transcribes what you say out loud into text and passes it the results to the next action. So this is what we want. So we're going to add it to the shortcut. So we have dictate text. And then the next thing that we want to pass that text to some mechanism that will send it to our Home Assistant, or in this case, Node-RED. So we're going to come here and we're going to say, click that out. We're going to look for get contents of URL. So we want this one here. And what this will let us do, so this is already passing in the dictate text. We want to do a post command. So we click on post. The request body is going to be a JSON. We're going to add in a new field, and it's going to be exactly what we had from before, where it's going to say speech. So this is going to be text, speech. And then it's going to automatically just give us the dictate text. So that's what we want it to be. And then the last part here is we're missing up get contents of. We want to change this dictate text portion of this. Come on. We want it to be a URL. Delete. There we go. So this is going to be exactly what we had in the curl command, which was http://10.0.0.165 colon 8123 /API /webhook singular /assist. Great. All right, so just to review, we have the dictate text. It's going to send that text to this endpoint of where our Home Assistant or where Home Assistant is, and that it's looking at Home Assistant's webhook. And then from there, it's going to pass in this request body, which has this property of speech with the dictated text. So let's click done. And then just to try it out, I'm going to click the play button and then test this. So let's see. Hi, this is a test. I want to see how well dictating text from my phone will work by sending it to my Home Assistant instance. And this is using Home Assistant's webhook instead of, let's say, Node-RED's HTTP in nodes. But either way, they work the same. So I'm just testing it out. All right, I had a normal pause. It's giving me this message. Now you can say allow once if you want it to, but I just say always allow. So if the URL changes, it's going to ask you for permission to either always send it or always ask for permission. I'm just going to say always allow for this one. And then it immediately sent it. And there it is here in this payload. So let's go back here to the screen. So here we have the output. This is the new one that came through. And this is everything that I've mentioned in that text. So it's pushing it all out. So now we can send this text reliably to Assist. So let's try it. So we're going to copy the path. We're going to send it here. So instead of it being just payload, it is payload.speech, but I'm just going to paste the path just like that. Click done, deploy, and then now let's try it again. This time I'm going to give it a command to turn off the office lights. So turn off the office lights. I didn't need it. I didn't need Siri. I didn't need Google or any of those other smart home cartel platforms. I'm able to simply pass in my own request through webhooks, and I'm able to control the house. And because you can do something like this, that means you can give anyone that ability within your home to control it. Now, whether or not you want to do that is another thing entirely. And of course, depending on the device, you can have it go to different endpoints. So this endpoint is rather free and open. It just goes directly into Assist. But perhaps you may want it to go to, let's say, instead of having it go directly to Assist, a different endpoint can go to a more narrow version of what you want people to have control over. So you may have this ability to go ask Assist everything directly, but another person may only be able to ask a subset of information. The sky's the limit, but the point is that you have the tools to create a very complex assistant that can do whatever you want for your smart home. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. All right, that's it for this particular module. In the next one, we're going to be building upon all of this that you've learned and taking it to the next level by incorporating AI. And right now, this seems very capable by itself, but by incorporating AI, we're able to be a little bit more free with the speech that we give. Because even now, if I were to run this code for assist, and I give it the wrong name, it'll just kind of fail and won't do much. But using AI can take that, see what you meant, and then change it so that way you're saying the correct things without you having to know, which then increases the usability and experience for all parties involved using your smart home. And of course, that goes into other aspects besides from just controlling lights. You can have it do things on your behalf. You can have it fill in the gaps for you in terms of just anticipating your needs. The sky's the limit, but let's head into the next module where we go deeper into using AI within your smart home. I said that all in the dark. That's so weird. Okay, so I guess it is what it is.